There.
Oh my God.
Already, huh?
Shut your mouth until you're introduced.
At least you didn't two-fist it.
I mean, I'll burrito grip this thing.
You could definitely two-fist burrito grip that.
Delete it.
Don't delete it.
Delete it from the internet.
No. I want to keep it on. Show
us true
ridiculousness.
Do you want me to take my top off?
You've threatened that before. You've never done it.
I never will.
I'll make fun of you.
I have fat kid syndrome, so I do not take this top off.
Eve swims with his T-shirt.
Definitely does.
I literally do.
I didn't know that. I just
I literally do. When we went to the pool, I think I had my shirt on the whole time.
Hilarious.
I'm trying to remember how long I did that for as a kid.
So real quick,
40 years.
Since we're going to get ready to go to Vegas here in a couple of months, a couple years ago, Andrew and I went down to Vegas.
Oh, right.
To do that internal strength model FRS conference.
Yeah.
And we were staying at a hotel, and it was in September, so it's still pretty warm. And we were at the pool, and he thought it'd be funny. Well, I was sitting there just trying to relax, and he took a video of this. He videoed this huge freaking fat dude. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "There's Chris in his natural habitat."
He said that to me, yeah.
Yeah, I know he did. I know. So I don't feel badly at all for doing this on the podcast.
Yeah.
And of course, then I look over at him, and I forgot to put my sunglasses on, and all that sunshine was reflecting off of the ginger.
You're blind to this day, at least partially.
It definitely burned my freaking retinas.
Like when you look at the sun, and it
they say don't look at an eclipse.
Yeah.
You also should not look at a ginger
in the sun.
With
his shirt off.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Just a public service announcement for everyone.
It's called science.
You're welcome, Andrew.
Yeah. And I'm sure when you filmed,
I've been waiting for 2 years
to drop that.
To do that one.
What was better is when he was getting out of the pool and then you were filming him and he had to yell, "I was in the pool."
Are we talking shrinkage at this point?
Seinfeld.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going with.
Look out for you young guns. Why don't you introduce our Hispanic DEI friend that we have in the building today?
What did he say?
So first of all, you better watch yourself. Okay. This is still a fellow Navy guy.
That's true. You guys outnumber me now.
Yes.
Sam
is getting ready to retire from the United States Navy, Chief Petty Officer.
That means he's like a 12-year-old girl, like strength-wise. Chief Petty Officer, right?
No. What? Chiefs run the Navy.
Petty? Why do they give you petty? That sounds...
You got to... Well, so background.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm both prior enlisted and officer. So...
Big flex.
No, I'm telling you, the Navy, the reason why I can say from both sides of the equation, the Navy is very, very hierarchical, more so than all the other services.
Made up word,
on division between enlisted and officer.
Okay.
They just are. Even though the chiefs run the Navy. The chiefs are E7 and above. You get chief, senior chief, and master chief. Okay. Even going from E6 to E7, we're in the Army. Whatever, you still look the same.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You're a staff sergeant to sergeant first class. In the Navy, it's huge. You go from petty officer first class to chief petty officer.
How long would you say he spent at Rear Admiral?
He just likes the word rear admiral.
You know, there's like two of those, right?
Yeah, there's lower half and upper half.
Yeah, so which one?
Do not doubt I'm looking at two of them right now.
No, you're not. So
terrible.
I was a commander when I got up. So anyway, my point of all this is that what do you always say?
I digest.
Gents of digress. Is they can't just call them. So when you hit E4 in the Navy, you become a petty officer.
Oh, okay.
All right. And so you have usually some level of authority, depending on your position. But they want to distinguish between a commissioned officer and enlisted. So you can have a 22-year-old know-nothing dude comes right out of college and is an ensign.
A what?
An ensign. That's an O1. It's the first officer rank. and technically they outrank the highest enlisted person.
Like this old bag of bones?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would
But if you're smart, which I was because I was prior enlisted, when I came in as a junior officer, you listen to your chief. They'll keep you out of trouble. Okay?
I see.
So chiefs have a very special place in my heart. And so that's all that just to say, watch your P's and Q's.
Okay.
I only take so much of it.
Okay.
It's like I can mess with him.
Yeah,
But it's like a little brother or someone else messing with him.
I see.
We're going to have trouble.
You're going to go to your dad over here, or grandpa, sorry.
Whatever's correct.
Got it.
So anyway,
that's usually how it starts.
he's retiring here very soon.
If anybody wants to come from that listens to your retirement, that's June 5th. Just random people coming. That'd be funny.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's on the base, so
I'm going.
well, I am too.
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not even allowed on base anymore. You've had your fingers in so many sailors' asses.
Oh my
that
gosh,
You're not
Bill.
allowed.
Technically, that's true. But it was in the form of a rectal
The
exam.
XO is going to be like, I remember you sausage-fingered doctor. You're not allowed.
No, those guys were younger than me. At
You
the
like
time.
that I knew that, XO?
Yeah, but you don't even know what an XO is.
I watched Hunt for Red October last night. Oh, my God.
This, you see where this is going?
know, yeah.
He's like, oh my God, why am
Can
I
you
here?
introduce the guy?
Yes.
So
No,
Sam Quinceañera is in here,
It's like,
and he's obviously
Can you correct his pronunciation?
It's Quinones.
Quinones.
tomato.
Bill,
All right.
you are horrible.
How
You
do you
did get
say
the
it?
Q part.
Thank you. How do you say it?
Quinones.
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 Okay, you don't need to put an accent on it.
Dude, he's so wrong. Anyway, not only is Sam one of my fellow Navy folks, he's our training partner, purple belt,
Yep.
getting ready to move back east to my old stomping grounds, Norfolk, Virginia Beach area.
Yeah.
We're sorry to see him go. I'm super happy he's on the podcast though, so we can chat with him some.
Got a good mustache.
Dude, strong mustache.
It's been since I think November.
Yeah, it's looking
Yeah.
good.
I didn't think I was gonna make it this far.
It's a lot better than mine when I try to grow one. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Dude, mine's horrific.
Is
It's all it's pubic hair looking and it's gray, and it's not even gray. It's like
if
a
you
rat
compete
color.
at the next tournament, though, or maybe not this next one, but
But in
whatever
the
the next
fall,
one you do,
well, when I get these stupid braces off your neck,
that mustache riders
Get the salt and pepper
congregate
look.
and
I'll have to do it.
join forces.
Yep.
I got as trashy of a homeless man stash as it gets, and I still do it. So.
Okay, fair enough.
You just got to start ahead. Some people like Andrew, he can get a nice full red.
Oh, his looks
thing.
amazing.
In a
Forget
short
about
amount
it.
of time.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
got to start mine 6 months in advance.
Jake.
Oh my God. Hello.
Jake, we made a good joke yesterday
Mm.
as I was leaving. It's like when our mustaches lock when we start battling out and see who's got the
Yeah.
stronger grip.
Wow.
Yeah, but your
But I
mustache.
don't think I'm gonna.
No,
he's got the
you-
grips on that one.
Well, he's got and his mustache game is far superior to yours.
To anybody's, I don't.
Well, pretty much. He's got like firefighter calendar mustache.
It's not a caterpillar. It's,
It's legit.
professional.
that is a mean mustache.
It looks like a big, fat, stale Twinkie on his upper lip.
Twinkies last a long time.
So imagine that. That's like, we're talking 1,000-year-old Twinkie, basically.
I think the Twinkie will be there, wrapping will be gone.
Yeah, just be the mustache.
Yeah.
Just be the mustache.
On the corpse.
So you guys are getting off
When
topic.
he's like 300 years old
Phil.
in the ground, he'd still have the mustache.
They're off topic. I'm trying to introduce Sam.
Okay.
You also said you're going to be tame.
I'm doing pretty good.
You're 0 for 10 so far, brother.
Sure.
I haven't brought up 1940s Germans.
Oh my gosh, Bill, stop. Just stop.
So, Sam, you're a purple belt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any stripes?
No.
No stripe, purple belt. You got your purple belt how long ago?
So we're in what, May? About 6 months ago.
About
And
6
then
months
the
ago.
December promotion.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
This is where it's a trust tree. As you know, we took our pants off as we walked in, and we all are touching legs right now, thighs.
Except me. I still got my pants on.
That's what you think.
My
So,
gosh.
with that, but actually, before
You want a drink? There's nothing in it. Don't worry about it.
we have some like standardized questions
Okay.
that we've had Jared on. We've had a couple of people with different belts. Have we ever had a purple belt on?
At the time, Jared was a blue belt.
Yeah, and we had Kang, and we had a couple black belts. So I don't think we've
Brittany
had
was purple.
Nope. Yeah. Yes. Good call.
but it wasn't a purple like our
yeah,
wasn't
but it wasn't.
Diaries.
Wasn't family.
of a jiu-jitsu practitioner.
She sure. Oh my God!
rude.
Shut your mouth.
Rude. So we're gonna get into some of those standard questions. Okay. We're gonna pick your brain on your jiu-jitsu journey, but before we do that, there's a couple things we want to touch on. We had a couple quick questions that Chris will be able to answer, and then there's one that I'll probably jump on. But let's start by giving congratulations to an avid listener. He comments all the time. Alex Tapia, probably a fellow Hispanic, I assume.
Name rings a bell.
Yeah, it rings a bell. I probably know him.
I knew a Tapia.
Yep. He got a second stripe on his blue belt.
Congratulations.
Hit a button, Liv.
And it's not tilapia, just so you know.
I didn't say tilapia.
I'm just telling you, it's not a fish.
Good job, Alex.
I beat you to it because I know you were going to say it.
I probably would have.
Yes, you would have.
That's kind of like, I feel like the second stripe on your blue belt feels pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because one, you get your blue belt. That feels great because obviously you're like, now when like a new person comes in, they don't look at you as like, oh, that's just a white belt. You know, you get a little bit of street cred, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or if like you tell like someone that you meet and they're like, oh, I do jiu-jitsu, you do jiu-jitsu, yeah. And you're like, I'm a white belt, but I love it. It's almost like you feel like you have to justify that you're like in it, you know, you're living it. But when you're a blue belt, it feels good. But still, a 0 stripe blue belt, you still feel a little bit bottom rung of the ladder. You get that first stripe, okay, now I'm kind of legit. Second stripe on the blue belt, you feel like you are like in the family of the jiu-jitsu tree. Am I right?
Yeah.
No?
I
I
believe it.
agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like that second stripe makes me like it. So what he said is it motivated him to like try to get his purple belt, I think by next year or next year.
Sweet. Well, that's great.
Yeah, kind of like that's, I would say, the one good thing of stripes. I'm not a huge fan of stripes, but the one good thing is it can be that motivational thing to kind of get you back on the horse or something if you're having a stale kind of season with your training and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a stripe sometimes can kind of be like, okay, let me get back on that horse. First question for Chris. This came from a very, very like stoic personality.
Lawrence.
No. They asked, what's your skin routine?
Oh, that your skincare routine.
Your skin routine.
I don't have one.
Weird.
I know. It's obvious.
The whole catcher's mitt thing.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do use the red light.
Okay.
So that's about all I do.
You don't like moisturize?
No.
Feces?
What?
Mud?
I haven't tried the feces thing, but I haven't. No.
I had some ice cream, so.
Yeah. Oh. So you got Bristol 7 going?
I'm just saying.
You got
I
Bristol
could load
7?
You up.
I bet you could. Yeah, but you're not free range, dude. I don't. He has all kinds of chemicals and stuff in him.
That's true.
I obviously don't have one. Is that it? And
Is that a legitimate question?
what piece of shit asked that question in the first place?
He used to be much more rotund Hispanic, but now he's a little thinner.
Did they live in San Diego?
No, that guy is still rotund. Elias Diaz is who I was talking about. You nailed it.
The guy sitting right here.
Yes. Didn't you ask that?
No. That wasn't
Yeah.
I was there when it happened.
Oh, it wasn't you though?
No.
Oh, it was the other guy.
Yeah, it was the other guy.
Oh, he's not Hispanic.
Definitely not.
He's a white-blooded, blonde-haired, glasses-wearing golfer.
Mike Simpson?
Dang, spoiler alert.
Why did I say his last name?
Okay, so you can punish him later. He also had another question, though.
Just curious. I know I'm old, but I mean, just wondering.
He just wanted to know your skin routine.
Yeah, I was there when he asked it. I was like, okay. I didn't know it was a thing, but okay.
I'd be embarrassed to say I had one if I did.
Stay focused, guys. So here's a real question. Trap bar deadlift, conventional, sumo, verse, right? Which one is best for BJJ?
Awesome question.
Okay. He's the guy that asked about your skin routine.
Well, he's still a good question.
Okay.
So
Kieran's listening.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So the most technically easy deadlift for someone to start is a trap bar deadlift.
So for someone that's like kind of just starting to get into maybe
The advantage of a trap bar deadlift, if you because you don't have to, as you do the lift, the bar doesn't have to traverse around the knees.
is this the thing that's like you stand in the middle?
Yep.
And it's almost like a farmer's carry grip?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So, very legit. And you can get more of an upright posture with that, typically.
It's a little easier to not like bend at the like hinge over.
Well, you're going to hinge, but you don't, it's easier to not round the back.
It
for
like
sure.
kind of goes straight down.
Yeah, and you can get more of an upright, which I've talked about this before. I think conventional deadlift, I've had conversations with my strength coach, probably one of the best coaches on the planet, Marty Gallagher, and he was saying that in his opinion, and I'm just telling everyone shits on this answer, you can go talk to Marty Gallagher, I dare you. But his point was to really dial in a really good conventional deadlift. He feels it takes about 10 years at the highest levels.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that in me.
And that also depends on body mechanic, how you're built too. Do you have long legs, short arms, or, there's a lot of variables in the anthropometry. I was waiting to use that word. But
Nerd alert.
I know. I think, but also in general, the conventional deadlift, there is more of a kind of a bent over posture. Your back is still in neutral, but you're inclined a bit more just by the nature of it because your hands are on the outside of your feet, and your hips are up a little higher. So in general, that's not a great jiu-jitsu posture.
Right.
You think about standing up in guard, that's not a posture you'd want to have with your kind of inclined over, your posture broken, basically. I feel like for most people, a sumo deadlift, you can, especially doing like kettlebell sumo without the bar in front of your.
Okay. On those, are you holding the belt down or like
No,
style?
the actual deadlift. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, that would be more of a squat.
Okay.
So you can get more of an upright posture, almost like standing up in guard a little bit more with sumo. The feet are wider. The hands are inside the feet instead of outside.
What's it hitting by having your sumo style? Your feet are pointed out a little bit. Your legs are wide.
It's still a really good posterior chain exercise. It's not as much shear stress on the low back if you're more upright in general. And you could argue, if you're a power lifter, that's your sport. So you're going to do whatever works well for you. Most people are conventional lifters. I just would argue in jiu-jitsu, building that, it's almost like that motor memory of that upright posture when I'm pulling something or standing up. Yeah. I actually like the belt squat. I think almost the best. It really mimics, having someone wrapped up around your waist, right? But the same idea is that, so a trap bar accomplishes very much the same idea as a sumo with, like with the kettlebell. The bar doesn't have to travel and traverse up your shins and over your knees and then finish your pull. So it's technically easier.
So does a sumo hit the adductors and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
so you get a look. You could argue, I haven't looked at EMG studies on it, but you could argue there's some isometric adductor, probably a little more just by the
positioning.
Positioning. Yeah, you could probably argue that.
You would lean trap bar.
Trap bar or sumo.
Yeah. And belt squatter.
Yeah, the belt squat's legit. I love that thing.
Yeah.
So the trap bar looks probably would help out home up more since you're.
Yeah, and the problem I've had with trap bars, honestly, I have short arms and a long torso, and those things, I feel like I'm barely reaching the handles on those, and I feel like I'm really stretched out. Where people with long arms typically, or if you have a trap bar that's built a little better,
Right? Yeah, you're built like one of those like quasi midgies, right? Where they're like, you're not sure if they're quite an LP, but
no, I'm well up in the height. I'm not close to that.
I mean, your torso.
I look like I look like a tyrannosaur a little bit.
trans.
Yeah, a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
A what?
A Tyrannosaurus Rex. Having the little arms.
Little bit.
Arms. Yeah.
But you have like
He's trying to work into an insult.
I
He's
know.
really trying hard here.
But you have more like ostrich steps. Like a T-Rex has huge feet. And when you run, you have little like...
I run efficiently.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, it is a good way to put it. I use that pose method of running, so I don't overstride.
Look at that. It just looks...
I mean, he was a diver. That's not an easy task.
That's true. He is a diver.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. Well, I hope whoever asked that
He
question
was
got the
reaching.
answer. Well,
Far.
It wasn't even coming off the. He was just like, I gotta. Get an
Olivia
insult into
told
this
me
guy.
to keep it down, and I had some really good ones within that. I'm just saying, when the mic's off, I'll hit you with it, and
I
you
bet
will
you
go
will.
home and cry.
I doubt it, but go do your worst.
You do it every time. So we got a response to one of the videos that we had just posted. I think it was the Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu one.
Oh, your judo versus jiu-jitsu. Your clickbaity title.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Weird. He got a response.
So, and I mean, you guys will actually probably be able to throw your 2 cents on here, but I'm just going to read the comment. Just because I don't quite agree completely. I think he's right on some things, but not quite everything. So I figure we'll just talk about it. So his comment was throwing people who are stiff arm and hunched over, so really bent at the waist, you know, how jiu-jitsu people do, right?
Yep.
We get lapel grips, and then we just...
We're bent down and just...
Yeah, stiff arm them.
Go at any white belt competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it unfortunately gets...
It does.
It still maintains even at the color
You're right.
belts. And he says, people who stiff arm or hunch over is not too difficult if I have enough time. The problem is how to do it when they can jump guard or fall to their back at any moment. I competed for 8 years in BJJ, and it was a problem. My main problem was that they can blow my knees out by jumping guard suddenly as I'm in the middle of setting up a throw. My second concern was that if I just slam them, in his opinion, the best way to avoid knee trauma against someone suddenly jumping on me, I would get DQ'd. Also, they can pull guard just by grabbing a sleeve or even diving forward. Once they have guard, they can just tie you up there and win by holding you until the end of the match. I lost a ton of matches by people just holding me in guard and holding on for dear life till the time had ran out and the ref giving them the decision because they initiated the ground game. So it's a lot more complicated than just getting better at Nuwaza, because in the video, I talked about getting better at Nuwaza.
Yeah. So, first of all, dude, it's jiu-jitsu. Okay. If you want to compete in judo, go compete in judo. Jumping guard and over blue belt and up is part of it. Pulling guard is part of it. Now, I would argue this is competition jiu-jitsu. You know, I wouldn't do this in the, go up and pull guard in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a different situation.
Sure.
Right. And so, and first of all, anybody that pulls guard that I've seen, and I've coached quite a fair number of matches, and they just sit there and lock in, they get called for it. They get called for stalling. Now, if they're attacking submissions, they don't get, the ref is not going to give someone that is on the bottom that just pulled guard and just held that without doing anything else is not going to get the nod. There's not, because initiating the ground game is not going to give you it. Now, if they're in their guard and they're trying to attack submissions and you're not, or unable to pass, well, dude, figure it out. Open the damn guard. I mean,
I was thinking the same thing. If he's saying that person was stalling, what were you doing? Were you just letting it go, or were you trying to actually get out?
Fair question.
maybe you need to work on your closed guard opening.
Yeah. I mean, you're coming out a little hot on this guy. I'm just saying, but
I mean,
I know.
I mean, if we're gonna,
So I'll go through his comment from the top where he says throwing people who are stiff armed and hunch over is not too difficult if I have enough time.
okay,
Which I said in the video that people like that, yes, they can be easy to throw at times, but getting your hip connection to someone that is hunched over and stiff arming is not easy.
No.
This is why Sumigaeshi is like one of the most popular ones, or a Tomonagi, against those kind of
That's right.
postures. And you say, if you have enough time, well, of course, if you have enough time to kazushi and move around, you're going to potentially set stuff up.
Or if they get one that kind of cross grip on the sleeve and same arm up on the
Like a 2-on-1.
a 2-on-1, and that's really difficult to deal with.
Yes, very much so.
That could be frustrating.
Absolutely. And the whole jumping guard thing is, if you're a judo player or you just have a stance that is more postured, which I'm working on myself right now. And so every time I spar, I'm standing extremely straight up, whether it's a guard puller or a wrestler. And the thing is, there are guard pull defenses from a postured stance that are extremely effective. If I could recommend one, blade off, extreme amounts. You're almost standing like a taekwondo or a karate person, where you're extremely bladed. Why? Well, when someone pulls guard, they typically put the foot on the hip, and then they'll maybe swing off to the side, or maybe they'll be square, whatever. If you have now bladed off, the contact patch for them to put their foot up is much smaller. They basically only have the side of your hip.
That's right. And the other one can parry the other foot coming around.
Exactly. So you're already kind of messing with their cadence and what they're visually looking at when they pull guard. Obviously, they can still technically jump guard, but that becomes even a difficult visual when someone's bladed. Now, if someone's bent at the hip, stiff arming, you shouldn't, if you have proper grip structure, you should not have to worry about someone pulling guard, because if you have proper grip structure, you should be hanging on their posture, forcing them to feel like they're bending over. And if they don't fight that, then they will be bent over. And if your hips are back and your posture's broken, the person cannot jump guard. Think about that. If you're being
there's no way.
pressed down,
That's a long distance to cover.
Well, it's not just that.
Throw your hips up.
You got a ton of weight on your feet.
Ton of weight.
And it's hard to...
You're very planted.
Very much.
And so that's part of your defense, which is promoting them to grab a single leg or something like that. But if you've been practicing your uchimatas or hirai-goshis, let's say, you're going to be ready for that, right? As soon as we just trained today.
Yeah, we're going over that.
And, I'm literally giving up my front leg so people grab it so I can practice my uchimatas, right? So against your jumping guard pullers, there's things you can do. Like, for example, also, if you're ready, you know that you have a guard puller on your hand. You're bladed. You have your proper grip structure. As soon as this person tries to jump, you lift your lead leg, your knee. It's almost like you're doing a Muay Thai knee, where you throw your knee up and then you dive it forward. You throw your hips forward like a knee cut, right? You're almost doing like a jumping knee cut. Okay. Now, if I can recommend people look up Wanderson Fajeda. Wanderson is spelled U-A, like Anderson, but with a U on the front. He does this extremely well. There's another guy named Jan Pikapau. Pikapau's his nickname. His first name's Jan, Y-A-N. He deals with jumping guard pullers very well because he has very good judo, and no one wants to get highlight reeled. So people just jump guard as soon as they can. They'll get grips and just jump, right? And maybe they don't do it where they jump into them. They'll just like do the butt drop. And the guy has fantastic reactions. That comes from drilling these reactions, of course.
Yes.
And then just to add another person, a third person is Sandri Silva, Sandry Silva. He's another guy that stands very straight up, and has very good jumping guard pull defenses. So you can watch some of these guys' matches and kind of get a feel for what you can do and not be so freaked out by it or intimidated, or, and I'm not saying that in like a shitty way, like you're intimidated. You know, it can be intimidating if someone's going to like throw their body at your hips or knees or something like that.
Yep.
If it's wrong,
if
they do it wrong, it's going to be bad.
It can be very bad. Absolutely. But that's why proper grip structure is going to be key. Foot placement is going to be key, right? and kind of what you said, Chris and Sam, was if these guys are pulling on you and wrapping you up in close guard, in jiu-jitsu, the rules say the person on top is winning.
Yep.
Even though jiu-jitsu is known as like the person on bottom is like offensive and stuff like that. Yes, absolutely. But technically, our sport puts a lot of time in that position. But in the rules, if you're on top and nothing's happening, you are winning, which is why getting on top is a premium. And we had another comment from a previous episode that I haven't responded yet on, where they talk about the rule set favors like guard pullers and stuff like that. And I completely disagree, actually. There's a reason we have to have grips to pull. And I think a lot of time what happens is people get so frustrated with close guard players, myself included, is because it's a horrible position to be in if someone knows how to lock you up. Yep. And opening guard, you didn't lose those matches just because they held you, as Sam said. You lost these matches because they were more active. You were if you both just stalled there, one, you'd probably get a couple luchas.
Yeah, for sure.
But on top of that, he was more active. And maybe that's as simple as just little off balances, but you were probably way too stagnant. You didn't show enough effort in opening the guard.
Yeah.
If you're even trying to open the guard, Sao Paulo style, which is very safe, it's very low risk. Leaning back and just putting your hand to try to split the feet, little stuff like that, or just trying to cat's back, even if it's BS.
Yeah.
They're going to favor the top person.
Yeah. I just want to say
Please.
I came out the way I did because it seemed dismissive against jiu-jitsu. It's like, well, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean,
he said he competed for 8 years in BJJ. So.
Well, I know, but it was like, well, this is, the tone of that was like, well, okay, well, figure it out or don't compete in BJJ. I mean, judo's awesome.
Right.
And
let me see. Once they have guard, they can tie you up. I lost a ton of matches.
Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating.
It is, especially if you have trouble opening close guard. I had that for a good while.
Yeah.
I was struggling. But
dude, that is someone with long legs with a strong close guard. It's freaking tough, man.
And it's a problem because once you try and reach your hand, I look at it as that's a risk because I
know
that once I get that hand in there, if I do break the guard, I better come across as fast as I can because if not, you're gonna get
and your posture better be right because if you're bent over at all and you reach back there, you're
triangle,
getting in trouble. And ultimately, when he finished with, so it's a lot more complicated than just getting better at Nuwaza. Nuwaza, to me, guard passing is a part of Nuwaza.
Mm-hmm.
And in my, you should, if you cannot pass guard, and now obviously I teach submissions before people, because there's a cycle of techniques we're going through, right? But if you can't pass guard well, don't even focus on submissions.
Right.
You will not submit someone from close guard. Okay, if someone tries to say, you can. Yes, you can rape choke someone, I'm sure. But as soon as you get to someone that's been doing jiu-jitsu
we just got a blue belt just got yelled at and a competition by one of our black belts from trying to mess with someone in their close guard.
Right. And
he learned his lesson.
But you need to learn how to pass the guard. Pass the guard. Open the guard. Pass the guard. Open the guard. Pass the guard. Don't even work on I'm not saying if your instructor's teaching subs, do it. Do the class. I'm not saying just go
I know what you're saying.
But
concentrate on it.
Put some focus into that, and then you'll be a demon. Even if you don't submit people, if you can open anyone's guard and you have sick passing and then you have your pinning essentially, even if you don't have good pinning and they re-guard, but your passing's good, that's called stacking points. Yeah. They're going to get half guard and then you're going to blow right through it. Now you just got 6 points. Mm-hmm. You passed once, re-guard.
I remember coming up with blue belt. I worked on that, I was staying on my knees too long too.
Yeah.
It's stand up immediately if you can,
Yeah, I'm for my passings or
But in
getting
close
out of
guard.
close guard is obviously I have my little tricky thing that I do, but
Several.
yeah, but standing is like I'm gonna do that before the tricky stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to every time, and I just because it's my personal style is I'd like to be very baity, so
Yeah.
I'll make because I'm more comfortable at this.
Some would say you're a master at it.
Hey, that's the best one you've had all year. That's the look how proud he is too. Can you get a camp?
And he took a good sip, just
Yeah.
And he took a sip.
You know, kind of, this is how I roll.
Gosh, your mom's gonna be so proud of you.
She actually is for that.
man.
I hope this guy doesn't take it as if like I'm like talking trash to him too. Though.
No, I just, when you write these responses, kind of check the tone a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
Check your tone, bro.
no, it's just because we're going to, we'll respond kind of in that manner too. It's like, well, look, if you're going to come very direct, I'm going to be very direct.
Yeah.
He has some good points, but it's jujitsu, and if that people make their living on some of them on their guards.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's the way he
punish
painted
him.
the picture my way. The way he was wording it just makes me think that he was just sitting there in the guard and just
Yeah.
letting the guy just either keep you there or just do all the work.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Not saying that's what you did.
just because the rule set, like there's probably maybe a little bit more. I felt cheated before myself, so I totally get it.
yep.
So those are the questions.
Okay.
Let's get to Sam Quinones. Good.
At least
It's
he
like-
didn't.
it's like-
At least he didn't say quesadilla.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I
I
mean,
was saving that for later. You
I knew.
dirtbag.
I knew he would.
Somebody used to call me Quiznos for the longest.
Oh my god, dude.
That's not even Hispanic though. You got to make it Hispanic, otherwise it doesn't matter.
I just knew who she was like.
What are you?
What are you?
I told you that.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah. Okay.
Bill's classy.
What's your grandparents? Is that better?
No, it's not, dude. I don't. Anyway, I'm
You just
sorry
asked
for
what his
him ahead of time.
background is. I don't know.
What's your background? He's going to tell me. you
Well,
went to
the cool
middle
thing
school.
in the military, we serve with people from all walks of life, and one of the things we usually say is, "Hey, where are you from?" All the time.
Yeah.
And where some people think that's a microaggression now.
I don't
It
even
ain't.
know what that word is.
I know. I bet you don't.
So if you ask someone where they're from, they could just say Brooklyn.
That's right. Or what's your family's background?
Yeah.
Or
I think that's why I usually I either ask where you're from or then I think I ask like what's your background.
Yeah.
But if I ask that, I'm literally asking, is he from Virginia or because he has an accent or something like that?
I don't have an accent.
Well, I'm just saying, you talk a little funny. But I'm not going to ask like,
dude.
who's got like a thick accent?
Oh my god.
Luis.
Luis. I don't think I'd ask him where he's from.
Guess he'll pop your head off.
My has it.
I'd just ask her, what is she?
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking about that. I wouldn't do that. Okay.
That could go so bad.
Getting crazy.
You and I are gonna have to shovel in that hole.
I literally asked him to be tame, and this is
That one question just went.
absolutely
sorry.
wrong direction.
Let's move on.
Bill.
How'd you start BJJ? Sam?
I started. What was it?
When, where, and why?
When I want to say maybe 2005.
Dang.
There was this
Respect.
karate gym that I was going to.
That wasn't jiu-jitsu.
Well, I'm
Okay, my bad.
get there.
My bad.
And it was I think I was doing Tung Sudo, and one of the instructors was
2-star? 3-star?
usually got to wipe after that.
Yeah.
One of our instructors, he was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So after class, he's like, "Hey, if you guys want to learn some other stuff, hey, let's do that." And he would go change, put his blue belt on, and start teaching. I was like, "Man, I'm better at this." Than,
Was it gi or no gi?
gi? I was like, "Man, I'm better at this than the karate thing." So kind of just went
Where
from
was
there.
this?
This was in Norfolk.
Which one?
What,
Which school?
Oh, they're not there anymore, but it was
Okay.
called Nima Karate, and it was a huge place. And
Similar to Andrew's.
Yeah.
Where Andrew's, our professor's dad,
Had a karate studio.
school where the current Cascade Jiu-Jitsu is. And there was a blue belt teaching there that owns North Sound Jiu-Jitsu in Lake Stevens. And that's how we started jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
So I did that, and then when I transferred back to Massachusetts to be a recruiter, I found a gym about a year later. It was like 10 minutes from my house. That was Boston Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's where I got my blue belt in 2010. And then took a long break.
I would say.
Like a 12-year break.
Who's the professor there?
Professor Roberto Mia.
Cool.
Yeah, he's they're still over there. I kind of looked it up the other day.
I'm sure he's listening.
And, that long break, and then I came back here when I got stationed here. My roommate was Elias. That was the funny
The
part.
chub chaser?
We slept in the same room, unfortunately.
No way.
He was in the bed next to me.
You guys fit?
Huh?
You fit in the same. Wasn't he like 6'5", 50
There's
or
two
something?
separate beds in that room.
No, I know, but wasn't he like 5'50"-ish?
He's not a submariner. Come on. They do hot racking.
Hot racking. Oh,
Okay.
okay. That's, you know.
Wow, impressive.
So when I got here, I packed up my bag and everything. I brought my old gi and everything I had, and I told him I was going to look for a place. He's like, hey, I got a place.
Oh,
I was like, all right, let's go. And that was it. And one day, and that was it. Just been here ever since.
wait. So when was that?
When did I get here? In 22. I got here
Oh, you haven't been
January
here
of
that
22.
long. Dang,
That's
Yeah,
weird.
it's not that long.
you got molded into the trust tree real quick.
It's like it's a little over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do during Voldemort?
Couldn't do anything. I'm trying to think of what I did.
Oh, you probably shouldn't say anything actually.
Oh, it's nothing's going to happen.
He's
Too
fine.
late.
Oh, okay. I just remember in that time, all the Navy guys that, not Sam, he didn't come in yet.
It was bad
Would
around that
sneak
time.
in and stuff like that to the gym. Not that we were open, but
We were running Fight Club too.
okay, I'm gonna move on.
Doesn't matter now.
All I can think is that Elias and Sam are both going to unsubscribe after this podcast because of the things you say, Bill.
Elias blocked us a long time ago. Out of all the stripes, your first stripe ever at white belt, that can be a meaningful one.
Mm-hmm.
Your blue belt, maybe your first stripe of blue, whatever, purple belt. What promotion meant the most and why?
It was that purple belt, really. I was putting in some time, and like when I got here, I was terrible.
I mean, you said you got your blue belt in 2010. So did you take a break all the way till 22 when you came to us?
12 years, like
Yeah,
you said.
like I couldn't. There was really nothing when I went back to Virginia. And then I was a second class. So I wasn't exactly having a lot of money to have that.
Yep.
And just every time I tried to circle back around, it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Where it
for
was
sure.
either deployments, the ship, or
That's
I had a very similar thing where, when were we living in Arizona?
0809.
Yeah, I tried jiu-jitsu for the first time at a 10th Planet school in Phoenix, and that was broke. Couldn't pay for it more, and then didn't train again until 2017.
yeah,
14.
I think it was mostly that,
17.
and then just trying. Every time I tried circling back to do it, it just something came up where I just couldn't do it.
Just
and then
life.
being here, I had all the time in the world.
So what was it about purple belt?
That I don't know. I want to say it's because I feel like I just got a whole lot better.
Did you know it was coming?
No, I thought I was gonna at least hold out for a little bit longer. Maybe as a going away gift.
Right.
When I would leave, but I was not expecting that at all. I still felt like I think I need a little bit more time.
I mean, this is normal. This is
I think we talked about this.
yeah. This
That
is
I was feeling that imposter syndrome for a little bit,
that thing hits hard.
that weight of that purple belt starts.
and
And
then
you're like, oh,
Especially when it's like, because I think purple was my, I don't know, favorite, but like, it was my favorite belt to be at, but like it meant the most besides black. Because it's like, that means you're like, everyone looks at you as like advanced, you're in it, you've got your butt kicked for so long, you kind of know how to kick some butt too. And like,
you stuck it out.
yeah.
Because how many people, as they say, disappear after blue belt?
they do.
Oh, well, in the process to blue belt, but then once you're a blue belt, the fizzle is strong.
Like they always show these funny videos where they show all the belts, and then they show the blue belt, and then the next screen disappeared.
Yeah.
Never came back.
Well, let me ask you then, what kept you going at Blue Belt when you kind of came up here?
It's always been in the back of my mind. I've
Yeah.
always, for a good while, I wanted to, be a black belt, get my school. Like there was this place that I used to get my haircut when I was in Massachusetts, and the way it was set up would be like a perfect dojo on how you would come in. You come in, and it's like a nice little bench, and then you had this little podium that was here, and then you step down. This was a barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw this place like this would be
So even at Blue Belt, you were like envisioning, like, man, I could have an academy here
Yeah,
or
I
something.
was.
That's
Nice.
awesome. That's cool.
It's always been there
I
in the back
love
of my
that,
mind, and my wife always known that's like my passion.
I mean, you're Puerto Rican, so you probably got haircutting in your future, right? Because that's
No.
like a normal thing.
No,
Dude,
I was
what?
gonna actually try on my last deployment since it
Exactly.
was so long. Just didn't happen.
You hit those fades.
No,
Okay. And then you could have a haircutting or barbershop,
barbershop /
jiu-jitsu gym.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, that place you should start.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee shop / jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to have like an acai bar thing in like that guy that's his videos going around.
I was going to say with Bill, it's more like Krispy Kreme and jiu-jitsu.
I ain't scared, bro.
I know he's not.
I'll do it. I'll put
That's a lot of
Henry's.
people. I mean,
Let's be honest.
you know how Virginia they have the Krispy Kreme, the main one. When the red light is on,
Of course.
That means so. When you open your gym, you have the Krispy Kreme, have the red light on. Everybody's gonna show up, and then you have class going at the same time.
Right.
As
And then-
they're eating their donuts, like I could get fit and eat at the same time.
Yeah, I'll be like, look at me. I did it. And then I won't tell them that I'm on all the
You're
TRT.
the perfect example.
I'm giving you skeptical snake.
Don't you get
right?
stomach aches every month?
Exactly.
What's been the hardest part about being at Purple Belt?
Oh, that target on your back.
From the lower belts or the upper belts or both?
Both. It's like once you put it on, all the browns are like, all right, here we go. And then you got the blue and whites like, I'm going to tap him out.
Yeah.
And then I started like, I can't let these guys do this. And then I got to the point of like, it's okay. It is what it is. If you catch me, right?
What I thought was funny is he started talking shit to the black belts.
Did
Well,
he?
maybe just me.
It might have just been you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I? No. I don't remember doing that.
What did he say?
Yeah. What
Call
did I
him
say?
out.
Come on, old man.
Oh,
Let's
I
start
say that
rolling.
all the time.
That's just your name.
I know. But, you know.
Would have felt like a little more
Well, then I feel like I kind of have to.
retaliate.
Yeah.
There was times you were beating me up, man. I remember there was a Saturday. This was when I was still a blue, and we started
Still
going.
remembers it.
And
August 4th.
you just started going. I was like, hey, what's going on here? You're a little aggressive today. He's like, that's because you're getting better. I gotta put it
Yeah,
on you.
that's true.
I remember I was like, what's going on here? I'm getting beat up pretty good. I was like, let's go light, and he just starts trying to strangle me right off the rip.
Well,
Now we're okay. We start, and then you always paper cut me.
No, I sweep you first now.
Oh yeah, that one.
yeah.
I've been doing it.
You've been hitting that one. Sam starts taking techniques and
Yeah, he
things.
does.
Yeah. He's good.
he's like a Highlander.
He picks them up good.
He would kill me. Like I think you did 3 times, and you did to me 3 times in a row, and I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, the north-south paper cutter?
Well, that too. No,
Yeah.
the half guard sweep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
man! I was like,
like a John Wayne or something.
It's actually not a half guard sweep. It's a closed guard, throwing a
Yeah.
overhook closed guard
Man.
to then I throw a butterfly hook in.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
times. I was like,
Well,
Jesus.
I mean, do something about it.
I was trying.
No, that's the thing is he'll take all that stuff on and then start implementing it.
Oh, yeah.
So he's done a really good job with that.
I remember I hit you with the one. The one to
Yes.
say where he's like, you're gonna look stupid when you do it, but it works when you pull up, switch, and push forward.
Yep.
And I did that too, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
to
it
put
makes
the foot up.
Yeah, it makes me feel good when they hit me with some of my
Yeah.
own stuff. You know, I'm like, yes.
Have you ever paper cuttered him?
Yep.
Paper cuttered.
He got me in that north-south paper cutter choke too. He sure did.
Yeah, there's that. What else did you- the lasso, the deep lasso.
Yep.
I get everybody with that. Once
Yep.
I get in there, I stick my leg all the way in there.
Yep.
You never tried that on me?
I can never get my lasso in you.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm usually on a scramble.
I standing pass, so it can be a little
I
harder
know.
to.
Yeah.
But once I get the lasso in there, and then most people will drop their knees, and then that's when I'll jam my leg in there. reach for that outside pant leg, and then
You doing the Nicholas Marigali type of?
Yeah. We did that for like a month.
Dude, that's such a good sweep.
There's a good chance tomorrow at class I'm gonna let you get lasso.
I got to be at the night class. Unfortunately, I got to be somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'll go to the night class and I'll be like, okay, give me your best lasso, you little bitch. That's all I'll say.
We'll see how tired I'm going to be. It's going to be an early day tomorrow.
Don't start making excuses. So the hardest thing at purple belt has just been how people are really like almost turning it up on you.
Oh yeah, most of the time.
What's been hard about that? Like as in mentally or physically, both? Like dealing with kind of, if maybe some of the lower belts now are having a little bit of success. Now, even though you're a purple belt, I mean, you're the same person you were the day before you were a purple belt, but they have a little bit more success, so it kind of messes with your mentality a little bit.
It's like usually when I'm trying to work something and they're just, some of them can just get out of these spots. Like the white belts, they move around pretty good, and it's hard to keep them still.
Yeah.
Or if I'm trying to set something up, they'll do something weird, and then it goes out the window.
No, our white belts have gotten good.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that just,
Yeah.
you cannot get them to stay in a spot. They'll hip escape, recover, and you're like, oh man.
Are you tougher on yourself
Oh,
now
yeah.
that like where you'll have moments of like, it's a 4-stripe white belt, I should be able to pass them whenever I want type of thing? Or like they shouldn't be able to defend this, or like do you get down on yourself in those scenarios?
No, not really. It's just, some of the things like I'm trying to do some moves, I'm trying to work some stuff, and it's just like, man, I should be able to, hold them down, but just
But if you're working on something new,
it's like that most of the time.
does the ego creep in a little bit?
Sam, I deal with that too.
I don't think the ego creeps in.
That means it does.
I don't think it does.
I'm just joking. What were you saying?
Well, what I've noticed with Sam, I think a lot of people could benefit from is that dog mentality he has.
That's been developed for sure.
Well, I will tell you, especially the last 6 months, I've had him in some horrible positions, and he's not when people get deflated. Nope. He's like some horrible shoulder pressure from top half. He's going to keep working that and get those little moves, and so that is, anybody lower belts especially watching that, he doesn't panic. He just looks for a little space and keeps, keeps working it. And it's not just like, oh gosh, and just let him.
Stingy little bugger.
Well, it's great.
We should call you like cockroach or something.
What?
Why?
What is that? What is the Brazilian term for cockroach?
Why are you asking me?
Why we even?
Because there's the
Well, there's la cucaracha.
I know cucaracha.
That's my
what?
What?
It's not cockroach.
Yes, it is, dude.
it?
What do you think that
I
is?
thought it was a song.
It
It is a
is.
song.
It's about cockroaches.
No way.
Oh my God,
I've
his
told
mind,
this-
his little mind is blown.
40
Look at
years
that.
old, I'm finding this out for the
No,
first time. La
no.
cucaracha.
Yeah.
That just means cockroach.
Cockroach. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No way. That's what
Barata.
you're in your head right now.
Barata? Isn't that cockroach? Barata. Gosh. One of the famous jiu-jitsu guys, his nickname is like cockroach or something like that. Because
I
they
like
always
it.
have animal ones like
Of course.
sloth and prakisa. Pato is duck.
Yeah. I like the cockroach one.
I'm saying cockroach because he's Formiga. What was Formiga?
Ant.
Ant.
Yeah.
Because he's hard to freaking put away.
Yeah.
So it's like a cockroach. You gotta like.
That's actually I like that actually.
We'll figure it out. Look it up, Liv. Google that.
I forgot. I think it was when I went to Electric one day. It was Elias and oh man, I can't. This is bad. She was there today.
Rachel.
Yeah, there's like we always have problems with you. Like you have a base that you can't get thrown down or whatever. I have a solid base.
It is barata.
There you go.
I didn't realize I had a solid base like that, or I feel like I fall a lot, but
No, I mean, I think in certain moments you actually have a very good base and quite good balance. I mean, if you're getting swept by the stuff he's hitting you with, then your base isn't that good. But it's you have moments.
Got my
there's
sweeps, dude.
I do have my moments.
Oh
They're
my
like-
God, dude.
And I'll know when it happens. I'm like a little like I'll get swept. I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go.
What's some advice you can give to some white belts that are listening? Now, so people know, I haven't asked them these questions. Like, I didn't tell them to prepare at all. So I'm just
Oh, I had no idea. I'm driving up here. I'm like, I don't even know what. No, I'm not even prepared.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I don't know what they're gonna ask me.
Well,
with this guy, it's going to be something
I asked
inappropriate.
him at open mat today if he wants to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did too.
Well, that's good. Actually, that works out better. I like that too. I don't
In
like
the parking lot as we're exchanging the comic books.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want to be on the podcast?" Like,
Gave him some of that black tar heroin. I was like, let's go to Chris's.
Stop it.
That's fine.
What's wrong with that?
Well, at least
What is wrong with you?
yours doesn't have fentanyl in it, so
Exactly. It's pure.
it's good.
uncut.
Advice for white belts.
It's I want to say just tough it out. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while.
Did you have those times at white belt where you're just like, I don't know if this is for me or this is just tough. Like, I'm tired of getting my butt kicked.
Oh yeah, I got one right. And as soon as you said it, there's a memory. When this was when I was in Boston, and I used to do the Saturday, Sunday morning classes, and I remember this 15-year-old, nicest kid in the world. Can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but I remember he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, we start going, and this guy, bow and arrow, choked me twice, and just in the most nicest way. And I had to go sit down. I had to go sit down on the bleacher. I was like, this kid just did it twice. And he was like, hey. And then he starts moving. All of a sudden, he's in my back. And all of a sudden, both knees are in my back. And I'm getting bent from this way.
Like the most
Twice.
embarrassing position.
I'm glad I was in the back by the door.
Well, the head's always in a terrible position too. You're like,
and you're like belly sticking out.
it's just not good.
He had
You're
both,
making a face every time.
Every time.
he had both his knees in my back.
Oh, he went
So he did that one.
executioner.
Oh,
Yes. So he just crept around, come around my back.
We should call that the Stephen Hawking.
that's so fucked up.
That would be good.
Remember we were talking about,
They give me
code
crap up-
words? Remember you were talking about code words today? That would be something.
Yeah. If someone can't finish it, go Stephen Hawking, Stephen Hawking,
And
then they'll start making a funny face.
What?
And they'll do the knees.
You guys gave me crap for doing the Lieutenant Dan warm up, and then you're doing this shit.
That's true.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
I don't think anyone knows about us making that
name.
sweep. Yeah, we called it the hot dogs.
Yeah, we called it we called it a hot dog sweep, and then someone was like, call it the Stephen Hawking because your feet are kind of sitting like this.
Oh my God.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's
Because
better.
we got the hot dog, we got the Haggerty hook that nobody knows. We have our code words, and we're just talking about that today. I think we should develop kind of a system
Or
during
an
competition.
ecosystem of nomenclature.
Yeah.
Have you ever hit a get up yet on somebody?
No, I haven't done that one yet. That's the other one. Oh my God,
It's
man.
an easy one to forget. Well, I'm saying because it's so simple. And like there's an exact moment that it works so well
Yes.
that it's so easy to just be like, oh, I should have just thumb posted them. And
Well, I asked them that because that's one of the ones I like to do to him too.
Every time. All of a sudden,
stop putting your arm over his head.
I feel
Well, I
like
bait it. I'm like, look at this Kimura.
and all of a sudden, and he just, I was like, oh, as I'm getting pushed away, I was like,
No, I'm just hoping he takes that one on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because another purple belt just did that to one of our other purple belts just did it to someone in class and I was like, yes.
Okay, this is getting away from the white belt advice.
Oh, yeah. So just persevere. Is that your main
I
thing?
just keep going, tough it out. I mean, you're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days.
What's one of the biggest mistakes you made at white belt? This is a callback to our last episode.
Man, that was so long ago. I don't know.
Dead silence.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I
What
can-
about blue belt? Besides quitting for 15 years.
I did have that moment of I thought I was going to quit.
At purple?
No, at blue. There was like,
Oh, at this academy?
yeah, there was the beginning. I wasn't getting anywhere. I felt like I wasn't getting any better. I was getting subbed left and right.
How long had you been back for?
Like 8 months.
Oh,
something
so
like
you
that.
kind of got your groove back a little bit.
Yeah.
And
And I was like, man, I don't know if this is work. I can do this anymore.
so 22. Were we brown belts? Mm-hmm. We were brown belt. When you came, we were both brown belts? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's when I took to the your butterfly guard, man, that I used to have to. It took me like 3 months to figure out how to stop that from you.
Getting, like me getting into butterfly? Or
Yeah,
something?
I would soon as you get your butterfly here, I would isolate it and then come pass around. It took me a while to figure that out.
But it was frustrating though.
Yeah, it
because
was.
you felt like you were just you're like, oh crap, I'm stagnating here.
Yeah, that's
at
what I
blue belt.
felt. And I was seeing everyone progress and getting promoted. I'm like, man, what is going on? I was like, you know what, just keep going. I think I talked to you. I talked to Jake. I think I talked to Professor Andrew also.
Yeah.
Because there was a point I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this.
Just really kind of thought,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
but
Well, what turned the corner for you? What do you think? Was there a time? Was it
kept going.
something? Yeah,
just
for
kept going.
sure.
And just get better.
It's almost like you sleep on it and you're like, I'm going to go to the gym today.
Well, something I noticed though, the first tournament I saw him at as blue belt
What was it, a rev?
It was the Rev.
Rev.
I got smoked on that
was
one.
very different from some of the last tournaments I saw him at blue belt, and especially purple belt. I mean, I think that competition also helped you too.
You went through a pretty good streak of comps.
Yeah.
Like you started competing quite a bit at the end of blue there.
I think I've got a total of 6 I've done. I've only missed a comp because I had to get underway. Other than that, I would have done whatever was grappling.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one I missed.
Yeah, he's been consistent, and I think that's really helped. I've just seen a big change in the game, and
There's definitely some learning points. After every comp, I had to ask somebody, "Is like, what'd you learn today?"
Yeah.
Because you got to take something away from that.
Well, also you've gone through a weight loss journey.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. That was
Yeah. I mean, you were competing like 2 weight classes
well
up.
above what he should have been.
Yep, that 195 bracket was killer.
Yeah.
That was a killer. These guys
And you're what, 5'1"?
5'6" on a good day.
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah, I get it.
And all these guys in the 195 were like 6 feet or bigger.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
just-
It's stacked.
I was like, and then they're all huge, cut up. I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
And there ain't 195. Let me tell you that they might be 195, barely.
So we had cut down. To the 181. I think the day of the weigh-in, I think I was like 177, 178.
Yeah.
So I went from 194 to 178,
Yeah.
and it's staying off, which is great.
It's because you did it the right way.
Yeah, it's like everything I did. I was like, keep telling my wife, I was like, I can't get past 178. 180 is like my max right now. So I was thinking about that today. I was like, I wonder if I could probably go down at least one more weight class, but we'll see.
That would take time, I think. Chris could probably jump in on that. But.
Yeah, you could. Especially if IBJJF, you would have to get 168.5 with the gi, which I think is super doable for you. But
64 probably.
yeah, but I wouldn't, with your frame, I wouldn't go any lower than that.
No, I've come back at 165 before from our deployment, and my wife's like,
More than anything, it's similar to what Chris is, literally the same advice Chris has told me. And that's because I've dabbled with the same thing of like going down to 68. And it's, how about we just build a little bit more muscle? So 81 becomes like, we're really strong at 81. Or for me, like,
And you're barely cutting.
yeah. And for me, I would probably just go to 95. Like I'd try to put on maybe 10, 12 pounds of muscle. And then I'm at 95 now, rather than middleweight, because trying to like that, the weight cutting thing, when we're adult hobbyists, recreational, soon, whatever you want to call it, even though we train a lot, it's just not why.
But but if you stay around between 176 and 178 walk around weight,
Yeah.
which is kind of what it's been.
yeah. So middleweight should be
think about it then.
middleweight should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking I was just going to stay in this and just hit the gym a little bit more. but
Totally.
just,
Yeah.
get the muscle and
Yeah.
just stay where I'm at.
That's what I would recommend, honestly, because that.
Because you'll lose a little bit of the extra fat you have
But
now
you'll gain muscle dude.
while you replace it with muscle,
Yeah.
and you're just going to pretty much stay right where you're at.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I felt this last one.
Maybe
I
you
had
drop a
trouble.
little bit.
I had trouble with the guy. He was really, really strong. Like my half guard wasn't working like it normally does, and he just kept me pinned down. I was like, I just couldn't push him off of me.
No, dude, he just had your number, man. Yeah. He just had a good top half game.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I was like, man.
Yeah, no, I watched him. He has a really good top half game. That's probably what he plays too.
Yeah, that's a stylistic thing, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
totally, dude. It's not a.
you go in there hoping to play some half guard, but you happen to draw a stick, which is a half guard passer.
Yeah.
Like he's just really good at top half.
And then you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trust me, I recognize that.
Of all days, you're like, crap.
No, I know. Well, but that's not a reflection on your strength or anything like that.
It's like I feel I'm a good passer against De La Riva players. So, but most, let's say a good De La Riva player comes in, they're going to feel real confident, but it happens to be the best guard I'm good at passing.
Yeah.
If they were to go butterflies, then it's like, ooh, that's a little harder for me, Yeah. So they sometimes that's just how it draws, you know.
Yep.
I think I did okay. I mean, holding them off.
You did great, dude.
And then, the second match, it was a good scramble.
You're going to figure out how to send me the video so I can watch it.
Oh, yeah.
He had some good ones.
What I know it's early. You're only 6 months in. But what are your feelings towards brown belt?
I don't know. That's a little soon. I think I still got a couple years before I can even start thinking about that. I feel like I think I have a game that I work that I'm pretty good at, but I think I need to just broaden that a little more, a couple areas here and there.
Like what do you think what would that look like? Would you want to have a more robust stand-up game or guard passing or I mean, you could say everything, but let's be a little bit more specific.
I want my stand-up a little more. Ever since you started with the judo, it's piqued my interest to the point where it's like I think I need to go and find a place. Like I want to incorporate that stand-up.
Well, there's definitely some places in the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Norfolk area.
Yeah, Nick, the judo instructor, he came into the open mat today, and he was able to kind of tell him.
There's a couple. He's like, I know a couple places in Norfolk.
For sure.
I was like, even better. So I just want to do that because I mean, if you can dictate that, right, you can work the game you want that day. Yeah. If I want to work this, take them down that way.
And if you are still, I mean, I don't know if you're still considering opening your own school, but you don't want, in my opinion, you don't want to be a gym, not even an owner, but a primary instructor and have a huge gaping hole somewhere.
Yeah.
Not saying like obviously my wrestling's garbage, but I can show how to do a single. I can show how to do a double.
Yep.
Right.
A snatch single, swing single, ankle picks, right? Posture, stuff like that.
Yep.
You don't want to have something where it's like if your blue belt is like, hey, I feel like I can do ankle picks. Like they just feel natural to do.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hopefully there's someone else in the gym you can push them to. You at least want to have a basic knowledge, right?
Yeah, I just want to be able to have a good if someone asks, right, hey, what I'm having trouble here, what can I do, and then you just give them your pointers.
Yeah.
From all your experience.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. Is it like intimidating going to Brown, you think?
I think it is for me. I'm not saying anybody else, but for me, it's way up there.
Do you like kind of look at brown belt as like that's
years away in my opinion right now? Yeah. That's years away.
Sure. I mean, you really never know because you never know when you have jumps or life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sometimes you end up having a short stint at a belt. And sometimes you have a long stint. Yeah. It's just.
No, yeah, I get that.
It's kind of. I mean, I think you're in a good mentality where you don't even really.
I'm not.
It's not up
chasing
to
the belt like as they say.
Well, once you commit, you're like, I'm going to be a black belt at some point.
Well, and as purple belt now too, I think that's one of the hardest.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Greg Anderson, I heard him say this just a week ago. And it was, I agree. And I saw him that it was an open mat, and there was a purple belt that was dropping in. A guy named Tim. I don't know if you guys remember him, or you might remember him, but real big guy. He and Jake goes, he's good. He's not like a normal purple belt. And Greg goes, anytime I see a purple belt, I treat them like they're a black belt.
Yep.
Because you don't know and Kyle McAllister, R.I.P., he said this as well.
R.I.P.
He told me this too when I started taking over the day classes from him. Was because I was like, man, what do you do when like a purple belt comes in or something? And you don't know if they like Aurelius, and it's like, well, you don't know if this purple belt is a 13-year practitioner or he's a fresh 6-monther or something, right? So that purple belt, it could be because he's been training longer than you. He just hasn't settled down someplace. So he's got actually quite a bit of skill. So you just go into every single one like that. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that for just protecting yourself, number one.
Yep.
But just as like a kind of like a rule of thumb.
Well, purple belt's an advanced belt.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can get your lunch taken.
Whenever we have some drop-ins and they're blues or higher, I sit there. It's like, do I really want to mess around with you? I'll watch them a couple rounds before I go.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know I see you when people drop in. I can see your look of prey. He's like, oh, I got a new guy. I got
No, I'll watch him. I know Bill does too.
I watch them. I do watch them. I don't know if I'm thinking that way.
you look at him like, all right, when's my turn coming up?
It depends if they're doing really good. If I see them like kind of throttling someone, not that I'm not saying don't come in and don't you can train hard. I don't care. But if like they're having like a good round with one of our tough people,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I will step in as well, and just try to, I think part of it is I want to what
Kind of gauge where they're at and see.
Well, and part of it is I want the challenge because I love. This is why I drop in a lot of places, and why one of the reasons why I've been competing is it's nerve wracking, but I enjoy the unknown of like this guy has a game that I don't know what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he a good daily Hiva player? Is he a good spider guard player?
Who knows?
Is it something cool I don't even know about? Something silky.
That's why I was going electric for those Friday nights for a while to work my nerves, right? And then work on the stuff that we do, because it's kind of, I'm not saying it's hard to do like the move of the day, but everybody knows the same thing.
Especially the same like week you're in the class that everyone else just learned the same thing. So you do a certain grip and everyone's like, really? You gonna try that on me? You ain't getting no gold star, buddy.
Yeah, so I was doing that for a good while, going over there, just trying things out and see how things work. Because you don't know, and
and I really do like that feeling. So that's why it might look like I have hungry eyes when they come in. But then at the same time, I get real nervous when it's a purple belt or up, and I'm like, gosh, am I gonna embarrass our gym? I literally think that every time, and I'm just like, I force myself to go roll with them. But I tell Olivia about this all the time. I'll tell her when I don't roll with someone, I'm like, I pussed out. And I'll go home and I'll be so upset. She'll be like, why'd you do that? Why didn't you just roll with them? I'll be like, because I don't want to embarrass Andrew in our gym.
Too late.
Yeah.
And it's not from your rolling.
Yeah, they walked in and they're like, ugh. You guys just let anybody, huh?
who was it, man? I think it was one day we were talking about day classes. Like, man, if anybody walks in here and sees this guy, they're like, this is the guy.
Yeah, this is the dude. And I haven't like shaved my head in a while. And it's like
Costanza?
And I'm doing like a really crappy like comedy routine during technique.
That's usually when somebody walks in when he's doing his routine and they're like, so this is the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No warm-ups.
I like the ones when Bill is like filling in on Saturdays and like new people come in, like he uses me as like I feel like I'm in a comedy routine.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
I'm just lighting them up.
On my left, I have my assistant, Chris. Here.
Yeah.
And then they start
He is a
start the
trans.
show. Oh, my God.
Racial trans.
I don't even know what he's talking about now.
That's how I introduce you.
Just stop.
He's getting like, he's on that little diving board above the sharks and just doing like little dance moves and thinking he's not going to fall in. That's where he's at right now, verbally.
You guys are the best.
So, well, whatever. How about that? Just after I ask this question, Liv, put on Sam. Okay, so brown belt's a little scary. Okay, I get it. We're here for you. I want to know what your toughest, if you can remember, your toughest round of sparring, and then your toughest match in tournament play. What can you remember your toughest round that you ever had that was like either a total butt kicking, throttling, or it was just super exhausting, could have been back and forth, whatever, or your toughest match in tournament play.
Okay. Let's see. I've had a few hard rolls. I mean, there was that one day me and you kind of went at it when I tried doing that thing to your.
Oh, you tried heel hooking me in the
right,
gi.
right. And then it got crazy after that, and I was like, oh, I messed up.
It kind of made me mad.
I was like, that's what I saw that in your eyes, like, oh, I messed up.
Yeah, and every time I tapped him after that, I said, let's go, more.
Yeah. It was like there was no break. You know, usually how everybody, let me fix my gear, and he's like, no, let's go. And I knew that's what happened too. I was like,
I didn't let him tie his belt or nothing.
I was like, oh, I messed up. I was like, I got to pay for this now. And then it got
I do
real.
apologize for that.
I do too, because right, we talked about it afterwards. I think we talked about it a couple of days later because of how it went down.
Yeah,
I was like, Bill's mad at me.
I wasn't necessarily mad at you, like as in like I was actually angry at you. It was more so like, I mean, it was close, but you didn't know what the sub was. You didn't realize it was like a legit heel hook. You were like thought it was more like maybe ankle locky kind of thing.
And this one person that showed it to me, right? He showed
Fat
it to
Indian. Is that who it was?
We're not going to say no names, right? But I think I told you who it was.
Dude from Bangladesh.
And because we talked about it, it's like,
India?
You didn't have a.
Oh,
It's not.
no.
It's in Hungary, isn't it?
Oh my God, dude.
Where's Bangladesh?
Jeez, dude. It's
thought it was India.
closer to India for sure.
It's around that area.
What country is it in?
It's Bangladesh is a country.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I graduate. Well, I didn't graduate, but I went to public school.
Carrie actually did a medical mission to Bangladesh.
What?
Did she?
Yes, she did.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that was that one right there.
Apologies.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I got Bill mad. But we talked about it, and what it was is that
Yeah.
I didn't have it right, for one. I didn't have it. And how you were saying, and I took that, where if you got to move and you got to sub on something, you really got to put it on them. One, either, well, pretty much what you said is that you don't have it on right, so you got to make your adjustments. So I took that, right? So whenever I have somebody and I'm putting it on them, and I'm like, why is it not tapping? I was like, I don't have it right, so I'll just readjust.
That's good.
So that comes in my mind now. Ever since we talked about that day, and two, I don't do it no more. I don't do that. I will put the person's leg in there. They know I do it, but I just do that to.
Well, it's almost a way to practice for yourself. Like you're not applying the sub, but if you're at least getting in position, right?
Yeah, I put it in there so people know. There's like, oh, I know what he's about to do, and then they'll do something else so I can.
Did you notice when I had your back today, I took my foot out?
No.
No.
Because I always tuck the leg back there to make you think it's gonna come.
Now when I take your back, I just put my feet on your hips. I get not a lot of people can do that, but I just cup his like hip bones.
No, I
do it.
I do the same because he got me in that ridiculous thing too.
Oh, you did it to this guy?
Oh, yeah.
You could have hurt him.
Yeah. And I wasn't too happy either. But
it was I was doing it for like a week.
Okay,
like
so you
that.
know what it is. Yeah.
oh, I know exactly what
So
it
it was
is.
like I was doing it for like a week, and then after all that happened, I was like, yeah, I got to stop doing this. I was like, because I'm gonna hurt somebody.
But you're right. I mean, but that's good that you got that out of that, because it is true, right? If you are having to apply a submission with a ton of effort in the training room, especially,
Yeah.
in a tournament, I get it. Guys are going to take pops. You're going to have to apply a decent amount of physical effort. But in the training room, if you're having to put that amount of effort, you're probably not quite tight on something. And really, in my opinion, it's a good opportunity to use that as if you were in a match and you couldn't finish it, what's your next option? What's plan B? Chain into the next sub instead of trying to just like get that tap on that person.
Besides offending Bill, did you have any other
I think there was
notable
one day
ones?
you threw me to the wolves one day. Like, Sam, go with Mo. I was like, oh my God. And trying to keep up with him, and he was killing me.
I probably told him can you get him ready for a tournament or
I think
something?
it was that. And then right after that, you threw me to Andrew.
They're two different styles too.
Right.
One's going to make you scramble for your life, and the other's going to put you through the dirt
Yeah, and
with pressure.
I think me and Andrew were like, I was scrambling a lot. I was moving around. All I know is after those two, I've never felt like I had to throw up before until that night. After I was done, I had sat in the corner. I was like, I think I'm going to throw up.
That's awesome.
I was like, I've gone hard in some roles, the tournaments, right? And, tournaments, you can have your nerves, but
Yeah.
that was the one time I was like, I think I'm going to throw up. back to back with those two, I was like, I feel sick.
Can you not wait to leave Cascade? Because it sounds miserable. Or at least that I'm there for you.
No, it's gonna be sad. I'm probably gonna cry when I leave for real. I mean, it's all set aside because we talked about when I visited a couple places and I go to these other gyms and it's like, man, I look around, it's like our place is so much nicer.
Yeah.
And it just the vibes, right? We talked about the vibes, so it's gonna be a little bit when I get back to find a spot.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drop in a lot of places and really feel them out. And don't just do it unless it's like the negative vibe right away. It's like give places a shot a couple times.
Yeah,
Especially in a new city.
I'm trying to think. Toughest comp.
Yeah. Maybe you won, but it took everything.
That last rev
was rough.
It was, dude.
With that other guy, he looked like he was not 40 and over, but he was.
No, I know. But
that guy was pretty buff.
Did you ask his skin routine?
I mean, he looked like probably had a good skin routine.
Was he just yoked up?
Yeah, he was pretty big.
Yeah.
For 181, he was pretty
stacked.
Yeah. But we had some we had some good exchanges. He got me with Americana, and it was just one of those the verbal taps because he got it pretty good on there.
Side control.
Where was I can't.
No, he mounted you on that one.
You got Americana didn't mount.
Yeah, he torqued.
No, it was good technique.
Yeah, it was a torque.
It was a good technique.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think me and him were going for like at least 4 minutes before that happened.
Yep.
Nice. So even though he was visually super yoked up, obviously I assume he was strong. You weren't outclassed, right?
No, I felt pretty good. I don't think I didn't feel tired. I felt very comfortable where I was at. I didn't
even in the moment, like in tournaments, everyone feels like the strongest person you ever gone against, of course, and you feel that way to them as well.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm getting at is like, especially for people, is like you're gonna look across and someone's gonna look scary, gnarly ears.
Yeah.
They look
Bad skin.
Yeah, bad skin.
Like me.
Yoked up, and it's like that doesn't mean anything.
No, it's just I felt pretty calm with the matches I had. You know, I was in my positions where I was at, and I was like, all right, I'm good. I can get out of here and get rolling. It was it was fun. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bill. I don't know why, but Chris's face is not in focus.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, if you guys talked about my skin routine, now they're like, yeah, just get him out of focus because we're not going to get that one more subscriber.
Can we blur this guy?
You gotta just blur the eyes, right?
Something.
What's the biggest thing you've learned through jiu-jitsu about yourself, life, whatever?
I don't know. I know I don't give up. I got to keep going.
Has it built a toughness inside you that you think that maybe you didn't have tapped in as much?
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel a lot more comfortable. Sounds stupid, but like when you're out there walking around, you don't feel as vulnerable, I guess, right? I can I conceal carry at home, right? Or at a minimum, I at least have like a pocket knife. But I look at it as like, that's like my last resort. I'm going to use what I have first before I have to use that. And I'm good with it.
Yeah.
You have another option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just reposted on Instagram, and it's a guy named Bradley Martin. He's like a YouTuber bodybuilder guy, and he has a podcast, and he always asks, like, he has fighters on, and he'll ask them, you think you could take me? And he'll ask a bunch of different fighters. He's asked Devin Haney, boxer.
And he asked Nate Diaz.
And he asked Nate Diaz. And it's hilarious because Nate Diaz just goes, yeah, I'd fuck you up. Yeah. And he goes, you think so? You really think so? He's like, yeah, you're a podcaster, bro.
Yes, exactly.
And he's like, Devin Haney thinks he could beat me up. And Devin Haney, I think, is like 145, 155 pounds, something like that. Boxer, but he's one of the best boxers in the world. And he just goes, yeah, well, no, he'd fuck you up too.
I love it.
And then he's just like, and he goes, I'm 260.
So
And he goes, okay, well, maybe if you grab him, you might do something to him. And then he goes, but if you grab me, you're dead. And then like the guy was almost, I think he has to be trolling.
Yeah,
He has to be.
because it's the way he goes at it. And just Nate was just so calm and chill about
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah, I'm
And,
just, you know.
and then he's like, I think I could get you. And Nate goes, well, let's just do it after this.
Well, he literally goes, "You won't."
Yeah. He's just like, I think I can get you. And he's like, you won't. And then he's like, he says it again and he goes, well, let's just do it tomorrow or after this.
Yes.
Whatever.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I don't want to hurt you before one of your fights because this is like a little bit older. And he goes, you won't. And he's like, I don't know, man. And he just kept going like, there's nothing you can do.
Come on, dude.
Especially against a guy like that.
You're messing with also one of the
Yeah.
top shit talkers
right
on the planet.
And it's obviously he's got striking, MMA, like
He can back it all up. You know?
and his
everything.
jujitsu is phenomenal.
phenomenal. So
Yeah.
it's
Come on.
and there is actually a kind of a funny if people haven't seen it, Bradley Martin has gone to Edwin Najmi's Gracie Baja gym and he like put a gi on and grappled a little bit. And they had him going against like some normal sized people. And I mean, the guy's an athlete. The dude's huge, strong, all that. So he's a handful. They do happen to have a brown belt though that is every bit as big as him.
Ooh.
He's taller than him. Oh my God. And he's not as like bodybuilder looking, but he's a giant and he's like a big Russian. And this dude ragdolls his ass like it was nothing.
Yep.
And then he like, I think Bradley like kept training a little bit and he came back and that dude's a black belt now. And he just, I'm telling you, like throwing him around, like, remember
Clinton.
Did you see the video of Demetrius Johnson doing the open weight against that brown belt?
Yes.
And the brown belt at one
Yes.
point is like flinging him.
Yes.
It looked like that.
Yeah.
That's what the black belt's doing to him. I was like, buddy, calm down.
Yeah.
Real quick.
You took 5 classes and you're going to try.
Yeah, you might be big, but as soon as the guy is similar size, you literally are dead. Let alone, I mean, obviously a 170 pounder or whatever Nate is would throttle him too, but
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
Nate would box him up and then choke him.
Oh gosh, it'd be disgusting.
Soften them up and then put them out.
Yeah.
You got any questions for us?
No, I think I've asked a lot, man, for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
It's, the whole leaving the area thing.
Yeah.
Because I think I asked you, like, hey, how should I go to the gyms, right? Should I go in there kind of modest, not try and, start wrecking house? I don't want to be labeled that guy. It's like, hey, don't mess with that guy over there or piss off the head instructor and then, you can't even come back.
Yeah.
So I think I talked to you guys about that.
A big thing is going to be, you get a vibe if someone, Olivia had a great video from Andres how do you say his last name? Berganovsky?
Oh, Bruvnovsky?
Yeah. From Legion. And you get a vibe, and you should pay attention to this vibe from training partners. When someone is just not down for like a hard ass round.
Yeah.
Abide by that. Not whether they're big or not, sometimes like you can just tell they're not in for a dogfight.
Yeah.
So go at that pace, And then sometimes you can tell, oh, okay, this pretty much right away, you'll know.
Yeah, if they snap you down
Or their grip structure is like very tense or something like that, like, okay, this will be a harder round.
Jake had a good analogy. He's like, you go shake someone's hand. Mm-hmm. A regular shake, but someone's trying to put the...
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, okay,
Yeah,
I see what we're doing.
I get it. Then you make eye contact for way longer than you should.
as you're shaking your hand.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
Anyway.
abide by that. Like go in there. I would default on the calmer side.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the dude that comes in aggro, or not even aggro, but just like with more intensity to your role.
Yeah.
And it happens to be a day at that gym where they don't have their killers and it's a little bit more the recreational students and stuff like that. And that's not bad. That's good. We need those people. But it sets the tone that you're a safe person in the gym.
Yeah.
And when you slap and bump and they start gripping and their speed's there and it's like, okay, this is going to be one of the dogs.
Well, just like, my wife will ask me, And she's a black belt, but she's also 57 years old. And someone new comes in, she's like, "Hey, how are they?" I'm like, "No, they're safe. They're a good role." Well, people will watch that.
Yeah, and exactly. So the other upper belts will watch you go with a 57-year-old or a smaller person, or even maybe someone that's your size that you're like, "Oh, this looks like it might be a tough, like they're going to come at me," but they don't. And they'll take note. Okay, are you just going to bully the crap out of them? That doesn't mean you got to give up a bunch of stuff, but it's like really focus on the technical side. Don't have spazzy scrambles and stuff like that. And then when a dog comes at you, you can feel more open to like show that like, oh, I got toughness in me too.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe way to go. And then
Great advice.
all the little traditional stuff that I always side on, like I'll literally, especially if there's a Brazilian instructor, I will put like my gi on and wait for them to like invite me onto the mat.
Yeah.
Which, whether I think that's dumb or silly or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not my gym. So I'll do that. I won't tie my belt facing the instructor, or if they do the whole pictures on the wall thing of Elio and Carlos and stuff like that, then, I turn away. Always stand at the end of whatever line you're at, so just little stuff like that. I won't even ask upper belts, like
kind of stay where you're at, stay in your lane or lower.
Yeah, especially if it's my first time ever. Like you're really trying to get a gauge of like how traditional are they or are they not and stuff like that. And that kind of lets them know that you're not a douchebag. Yeah. Whether you agree with that stuff or not. I'm not even saying like I agree with all that stuff.
Oh no, I get it. You just don't want to come in kicking the door, and that was my biggest worry. I was like, I'm just going to come in as safe as I usually can.
Yeah.
So,
last question. Do you know Spanish?
I am terrible at it.
Can you hit me with some?
Oh man, I even asked my wife the word elbow on the way here because I remember how as soon as that happened on mat, I was like, he's going to ask me, and I can't even help him. And he sure did. He did.
We just had this conversation yesterday at the cookout with Nico.
About Spanish?
About speaking.
Oh,
Spanish, yeah.
He speaks very bad Spanish?
Almost none.
It's terrible.
I Colombian hurricane.
I did it.
He was joking. He was like, I know. It's
I had
just
all the way
funny.
up until a kid, and I used to, my dad had a 3-family house, so we were on the first floor. My grandmother was on the second, and then third was whatever. So I spent all my time with my grandmother upstairs, and that's where I had it. And then she moved away, and my parents weren't the type to enforce it when they were inside the house. Because my wife is like that. Her parents, as soon as you walk in through that door, Spanish only. Her mom doesn't play around at all whatsoever.
So she hates you.
No, she was fine.
Okay. Do you consider yourself Latinx?
No.
You're such a turd, dude.
Is that offensive? Do you hate that term?
You're generally offensive.
No, I've heard of it. I was like,
Depends on who you are.
That was more of a Leah's thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's very Latinx.
You never mind. You called someone else that too. You called Officer Man Buns that too.
Oh yeah, he hates it.
He
hates it. Actually, any Hispanic, Latin, whatever, hates that term that I know.
Well, you know who brought it up?
Like
made it up? It's white people.
Of course.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Freaking idiots.
I'm Latinx.
You're fucking...
You don't know. You never see my 23andMe.
It's a made-up term, so anybody, I guess, could be it.
Thank you. I'm not only 1% black.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
Bill.
1% Latino.
No, you're not.
Ask Fernie.
You're neither.
Guys, if you got questions, grapplingwithpodcast@gmail.com.
You know, we were one sub away from 1,000, but now I think we're going to go retrograde a little bit on that.
999. So whoever the next person is, you will win a solid shout out on the next episode.
Yep.
Sam, thanks for coming in.
Hey, brother. Yeah, man.
Donde está el mundo?
The what?
Where's the world?
Later, guys.